What's up, guys? It's Brandon Zimmerman and Kevin Zeigler. It's going to be our first episode of Synergy, which is an artcast. You're going to have to be patient with us with the whole reverb. Don't really know how to fix that yet, but we're working on it.
We need to get better speakers.
Yeah. So I guess we can start out by talking about ourselves and what we do. Um, Kevin, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody, my name is Kevin. I'm a sequential artist by night. Worked on a couple things here and there. Went to SCAD in Savannah. I don't know. Is that cool enough? Everybody get the gist? I don't really have a whole life story.
What do you want to do?
What do I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
There's a multitude of things I want to do. My entire life, I've always wanted to do comic books. They were always the fun adventures and stories that captivated me as a kid. But I loved also cartoons. So maybe one day animation or something like that. Pipe dreams like that. I dig video games. I'm super out of it when it comes to video games, though. I haven't played a video game since, do I need to say? Because, people might be turned away afterwards.
I mean, I don't really play video games that much. It can really hinder creative process, I feel like. I mean, yeah, it's important to know what's out there and being able to play games and how they're played, but I don't know. I feel like I can be super influenced by certain games,
Oh,
which
yeah,
isn't a bad thing.
totally. I mean, there are games that, don't get me wrong, will, spark my imagination and excitement for drawing and doing things more than actually playing them. And then there are other games that completely make me comatose and I can go into a wormhole of trying to find a quest or something.
Yeah. Um, so what have you done? Like, what things have you worked on?
I've done a couple anthologies here and there. I was a part of it was called the Bloody Fucking Revenge anthology, and it was just random stories that a bunch of people. I mean, it was put together by a guy named oh boy, I'm gonna have to remember names, and it's gonna feel real awful. His name was Ryan Ferrier, and he ran a online comic book community for a long while. Now he has a book, I believe, at Dark Horse called Dave, and it's about a robot who is sick of his day job, and it's a very sci-fi story. But yeah, I was in that. I had a kind of cult comic that I did called After Houdini. That was all about what if Harry Houdini were a superhero spy-like character, like James Bond or something, and he fought Rasputin for the good of the world, and yeah, I mean, there are a couple other things that I'm currently working on right now. Some stuff I'm pretty excited about that could be stuff that I could bring up later. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Well, no, I'm doing a book for Dark Horse called The Tomorrows. The first issue just came out last week, so if anybody wants to check it out, it's all based around the idea of in the future art is illegal, and it's basically cultivated by the big corporations and evil people. But yeah, I'm doing the last issue of that.
That's funny because that's kind of the exact opposite of what our conversation is going to be tonight.
Yeah, right.
And tonight, if you guys didn't know, our conversation is going to be cooperation versus being competitive and competition, and what if any benefits are of either one. And we'll get into that. So what I do, I've been drawing for about 2 years, 2.5 years. Started when I was about 18 or 19. Honestly, did not ever think that my life was going to go down this path. Um, when I was 16, on May 10th, or May 16th, the day after my mom's birthday, and I think it was the day after Mother's Day, because for my first time, I went out and bought my mom gifts with my own money, not hers, which was pretty rewarding.
That's a special thing right there.
Yeah, until the next day happened. I had a stroke, and I was in a coma, and I was at the hospital for about a month. And from that, I couldn't do anything that I was doing before, mega sports wise. So I started playing video games very competitively. Started playing with a lot of good people, and in order to graduate from a high school in Georgia, you had to apply to a college. And I kind of just applied to SCAD with my very weird graphics portfolio from the old Game Metal days, and I got in. And during my time here at SCAD, I figured out that I wanted to do concept design and illustration. So that's where I'm at now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fun. But I've been busting my ass ever since. So, yeah.
Oh, damn.
So I guess today, what me and Kevin are going to be doing is he's going to be sketching some pictures. What exactly are you going to be doing today?
You know, it's probably just going to be a random dude. Get myself warmed up, find my flow, just not really stick to anything crazy, not try and hurt my brain, because I just got off from work, and I wanna find something to just groove on.
Okay.
Every once in a while, you just gotta find something to groove on.
All right. Well, cool. Today I'm going to be doing a little self-portrait. It's been a long time since I've done a self-portrait.
Ooh, you're doing a self-portrait?
Yeah, dude, they're scary.
Oh,
Because
man.
then you really got to look and see how ugly you are.
I was gonna say I haven't done a self-portrait in a while. You know what? F it. I'm starting over. I'm doing self-portraits today.
Cool.
Class self-portraits.
So we're going to do self-portraits today. And if you guys have any questions, I'd love to hear where you guys are from. I'm going to be completely honest and say I don't know where the chat is. I got a questionnaire box to the side, so I can definitely see your questions.
Are there questions?
No, we don't have any yet.
Call in if you have any questions. The number is 812-566-289. We'll answer anything. We're honest and open.
Whose phone number is that?
You know, I don't know. It could be my best friend from high school. That could be off the top of my head too quick.
That is really scary.
That's what being a receptionist does to you.
All right. Well, yeah, just text that number. No phone call. But no, seriously, if you guys have any questions, just ask in the little chat box on Google Hangout, and they will pop up. So today, like I said, the discussion is going to be about cooperation versus competition. And I'm just going to start out and say cooperation. I feel like that is the most important thing in an artist's life, and quite frankly, humanity.
Go on. You've piqued my interest.
Well, the problem with competition is that in order to win, somebody has to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And the pro about cooperation is that you join together and learn from each other, and you reach the same goal faster. I just watched this podcast today, which was super intelligent. I'll post it into description after the video, but they used the example of the race to the moon, or the space race with Russia and the United States. And everybody was saying, oh, well, we wouldn't have gotten to the moon if there wasn't a space race and we weren't trying to beat Russia. And what this man had said is that we would have gotten there a lot faster had we have worked with Russia.
Right.
And instead of beating them, using their knowledge and our knowledge together.
True.
And I feel like the artist community is one of the best communities that uses this.
For cooperation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to go back to, you talking about how you came into art and what made you start, it's actually very similar to my upbringing. I was raised very, you had to play some sports. It was all about, the bigger muscle, this and that. And for a while, I definitely was all about it. I tried to be all that I could be. But I quickly found that art was something that, one, like you're saying, in the cooperation side, it was less about beating someone and more about, I've had, luckily, many mentors in my life, people that freely gave me so much inspiration, so many lessons and knowledge that I just really couldn't have gotten any other way, and that was before I even went to school. And funny, I kind of went to our school as not a dare really, but as a yeah, that's not going to happen. So I'll sign up, but there's no way I'm going to college. But if I were to go to college, I want to do comic books. So I put in a portfolio, and lo and behold, I actually got accepted. So I was kind of given the speech of yeah, you should definitely go to college. And that kind of is when I finally decided that art was something that I could do full-time, and also realized that it wasn't just about being good at art. It was about learning about everything, not in a competition kind of way, or not in a weight training kind of way, where you just have to build yourself to be amazing, but more about well, this guy did this way, this guy did this, or this woman spent her whole life drawing roses, almost the personal journey, but yet still the. Am I rambling now?
No.
I feel like art is a sacred thing that that can have many paths. But yeah, cooperation is one of those things that definitely makes it stronger.
Now, why do you think competition's bad? I've kind of expressed a little bit why I don't feel like it's the strongest way of learning. But I'd like to hear
why I think it's bad. I think it. Well, here you go. I've been watching a lot of Star Trek, and in Star Trek, it's a utopian society, pretty much, that their entire premise is what if we stopped being assholes to each other? What if we actually all cooperated and tried to solve all the problems? And it's set in a fantasy world, and they create all these drama situations, but it really does kind of express that idea of if we all just stopped trying to kill each other or tell the other person that they're wrong, and spending so much energy and time on putting other people down, we'd be shooting for the stars. And I like that idea. I like that as a starting point for a story.
Yeah. I don't. It's not like the thing with competition is that somebody has to lose. There's no gain for that person. I mean, I guess you could say that they're going to try harder next time, but the only reason they're going to try harder is to beat you.
Right. Well, and competition distracts you from, you are only trying to succeed by putting someone else down instead of trying to succeed to the betterment of yourself and others.
Yeah.
I think that's where really competition really messes with just overall growth. Because if you spend your whole time trying to beat someone or something or some idea that you have of like what you should be doing, eventually you're going to find you'll either fall into a rabbit hole of never reaching that goal that you set for yourself that's not even a realistic goal in the first place, or you'll beat that goal very easily and realize that it was almost for nothing. I mean, some people don't realize that, and that's probably the worst part.
I mean, but then the other thing with competition is that that's the way that we've bred our society.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that can be a very dangerous path to slip down. It's just having that mentality of I have to cut down the other person in order for me to succeed.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't like using the phrase, but it's very medieval like concept. Because medieval concepts are not actually medieval concepts. We can get into that one day. That'll be episode 48. All right. How medieval times were not actually as bad, or what we think medieval times were. But it's a very like archaic idea. I think. I think the future, like I said, when I was talking about Star Trek, I think the future is beautiful when you think of it as like a cooperation between all of humanity instead of just a group of small sect of humanity.
Yeah.
Trying to make it, because we live in that now. We live in what happens when everyone tries to do their own thing and compete against their neighbor to get as far as they can, and anybody that's not their neighbor, like, it doesn't matter. Maybe that's a super idealist take on what a lot of people think their lives are, but I think that's kind of exactly why we're in a society in which we live today. And that's where I see a lot of art going to. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do it all the time. When somebody, one of my friends, gets a cool thing or a cool project, and I have to fight that urge to get negative about it, because, I feel like he's winning or they're doing better than me. When really, if you think about it, that's just awesome that you are in a group of people, and you know a group of people that are
able to do that.
Huh?
Or that are able to do that, and that you can be excited that you get to learn
yeah.
from them.
Right, and I think that some of the best things that I've gotten in my, I guess, artistic career have been because I've listened to other people or had friends around that had opportunities themselves, and I was able to, see it not through judgmental eyes. And again, not tooting my own horn, because trust me, I'll look at someone's Patreon tomorrow and weep. But
well, we just got a question from Derek, Derek Poole. He said, "What are you working on?" So I personally am doing a self-portrait. The screen that you're looking at right now is Kevin. So
I'm doing a little mustachioed me. I'm still sticking with just kind of bull farting around, not really sticking to much of anything. This is a very not fully me. I don't really want to pull up a picture yet, but that's how most of my drawings will start, is just sketching around, and then I'll see what I come up with and what I like, and then maybe I'll keep going on it and make it actually something really neat.
I don't know. I think the thing that I like about your art the most is that you have this like uncanny ability to mimic features and get likeness
And there's no
of a very stylized, drawing.
Yeah, well, thank you. I don't know. I mean, that comes from, like I was saying earlier, like all my, when you're asking things I want to do, like I grew up on, Saturday morning cartoons. I grew up, where video games, the most important selling point was the box art, Like I go to Blockbuster and you only got one game for the entire weekend, maybe, that your parents would let you have. So you had to pick one, and most of the time you rely on, like, oh, this one's the Ninja Turtles, but they're fighting like a Stegosaurus or something. This is amazing! And you get it. And for some reason you still think it's one of the greatest games in the world, no matter how many times people tell you you're wrong. But, like, so, like, cartoons definitely were, like, something that I stuck to. And I remember when I was little, I didn't like drawing real things because I thought it was boring. If you're out there and don't want to take, real life, life drawing classes, I highly recommend them. You should not do them because they're boring. Don't follow a 7-year-old's idea of what you should do as an artist. Or do, we're not here to judge. You do what you do you.
Man.
But yeah, no, that's where, like, I think a lot of my sensibilities come from. Is just, like, not wanting to be stagnant or not wanting it to look exactly. I mean, I remember getting, like, those, did you ever see those, like, draw the Marvel way,
Yeah.
And it was like, you would draw a fist, but then you would make circles, and, it's just a basic breakdown of how to draw, like, superheroes and stuff.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I would decide, nope, not going to do that. I don't want my stuff to look exactly like Jim Lee. So I would just do it my own way, and those books have, been locked in a dungeon somewhere, never to be seen again. But that's kind of where it came from for a long time, until I had mentors in high school. My art teacher was very much a huge influence on me, and he was, a classically trained artist. He did calligraphy, he did still lives, but then he also did caricatures. So, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Brandon, I don't know if everyone heard you when you said this, but I'm going to toot your horn. You said you've only been drawing 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's upsetting to me. No, we're talking about cooperation, not about hatred. So that's great, and I admire it because that's crazy that you picked up on so many things. And I know we've talked before, and you like to beat yourself up for certain things, but like the fact that in 2 years you're where you're at kind of shows trying to think an artist mind that I don't think even a lot of like working artists have. You know, a drive that like you are far above. If I would have started drawing 2 years ago, far above where I would have been.
I don't know. I just honestly, the thing that I'm gonna put it together is I can kind of compare it to my time trying to play video games professionally.
Yeah.
Because all I did was surround myself with just fucking amazing artists. Just amazing artists. Like Dylan Pierpont was one of the first artists that I've gotten to meet, and that relationship has proven so nice to have. But like being able to talk to him and him introducing me to a lot of his colleagues and friends, and just late night Google hanging outs is very important. Just them over your shoulder almost, just watching you make your mistakes and just fucking so much shit up to the point where you get to that 10,000th thing and you start to get happy with it. I've actually been working on a piece with Dylan for since December of last year. Kind of got put on hold because I had a family friend die, and SCAD quarter was just starting back up.
Yeah.
We had only gotten to a month into it, and I'm being very analytical about the piece and trying to make it as best as it can be.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. But we just got started back on it, and it's here. I'll pull it up for everybody to see. I hope he doesn't mind that I'm giving a little preview. But I took 3 days to get the face in, which was frustrating. I don't know. I'm at a place in my life where my mind and my artistic eye is so much further past my skill level. So I'm kind of slow right now, but I feel like it's gonna pick up. So this is what I got going on right now. Very sci-fi piece. Got a badass chick. Yeah. So this is what we've been working on. It's pretty fun. I can't wait to show you guys the actual finished piece. So.
Well,
but yeah, and after meeting Dylan, that whole group got me to go to Spectrum, which is a big fantasy art convention, which I highly, highly recommend showing people, talking to people about. Because that convention was so nice to go to. I don't regret any part of being broke after that or anything. It was a blast. I actually got to meet one of my other really good friends, Anthony Pismaroff. Got to help him behind his booth, quotes in the air. I just said I was helping him so I could go in and talk to other people early before everybody else. And then I got to meet Tim from Concept Cookie. He's been a huge inspiration to me ever since I started watching YouTube about art and stuff. He was one of the first people I started to watch. And now he's one of my really good friends, and he helps me out just as much as every other artist. Um, it's super nice to have really good art friends and just surrounding yourself with people who care.
Hmm.
So,
I was going to say, to get back to the
discussion.
discussion of cooperation. I mean, again, to go back to my history, I wouldn't have gone to school had it not been for, like I said, my high school art teacher, but also friends that I had that were also artists that, like Brandon, I wasn't going to go to college, but kind of put. I had some friends that were going to a SCAD day where they like do a portfolio review and you get to learn about the school and kind of see what an art school would be like. And I was like, that's cool, because I had a bunch of friends that were going to it, and they're like, you should go, Kevin. And I'm like, haha, that's funny. No, I'm not. There's no way. Like, I couldn't get into an art school. Are you kidding me? And they're like, yes, you can. You're an idiot. Like, you're coming with us. So I did. I went with them and, put in a portfolio review and or sent an application on a whim. And, turns out, out of all those, all of my friends that went to that portfolio review, I was the only one that actually went to SCAD. Not the only one that went into arts, because actually a couple of my friends from high school found, like, one of them's like a classical painter now. She does her own thing back in my hometown, and then another one I think travels at conventions doing a bunch of different stuff like that. But but it took the advice from other friends, kind of prodding me, and that's where cooperation and being helpful instead of in competition with someone, actually seeing someone else, the skills that they don't see in themselves, and being able to push someone forward, I think.
Paid off.
Huh?
Paid off.
Yeah, it paid off very much.
And that's something that I really want to applaud the entire art community. Through Gumroad, Schoolism, I think that's Barry Chu, or Bobby Chu, started his Schoolism. YouTube tutorials. Honestly, art and a little bit of music is one of the only industries that I can really confidently say people are there to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's out there withholding information.
Right. Yeah.
And I just, oh my God, I think that's why I want to be an artist. Because I feel like
free information.
That, and I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
Not with just my art, but with the community that I'm allowed to be a part of.
Yeah.
Because of being an artist.
Yeah, I mean, I remember one of my first portfolio reviews. It was Stanford Green. He's kind of a artist. He's done various stuff for Marvel and things. But I remember going into this room thinking like, oh man, this is gonna be awful. Like, this guy, I followed him on DeviantArt in high school. Oh my goodness, this guy's he's gonna be nice, but I had that feeling of like, oh man, he's not gonna even be anything but critical. But he was very helpful. He was very nice. He gave me so many pointers, and took the time. First of all, for a freshman in college who, wanted to be a comic book artist, I had no real idea of the road that I had ahead of me. But he took time out of his day and saw my stuff, gave me a couple of things to work on, gave me some pointers, some stuff that he learned. It was just a really great experience, and that was probably the first time where I realized, like, oh yeah, this isn't like this isn't a competition. This is a knowledge. This is everyone that you will meet in the art industry. But I think some of the best people that you'll meet in the art industry are the people that only want to learn and want everyone else to learn as well. So it's never a top secret, you can't know this. It's more of a let's have everyone know all this stuff so we all can create, we all can make awesome stuff, and then awesome stuff will exist, you know. By the way, my mustache is looking pretty fierce right now. This is not an accurate representation of me.
Oh, it totally is.
Huh?
It totally is.
There we go. Got some scruff.
There you go.
Boom. My mother would be so proud of me putting the cigarette. I used to tell her, anytime you see a cigarette in my drawing, that means I'm not smoking a cigarette.
Oh yeah, that's how you started to quit smoking, right?
Yep.
And then it failed.
Well, it didn't fail. I just stopped drawing. Me with the cigarette. And then my mom was like, "Are you smoking again?" I was like, "Dang it, I gave it away."
So just so that's not a little inside joke, the way that Kevin started to stop smoking was every time he wanted a cigarette, he would draw a character smoking a cigarette. And I think that that's kind of cool, but I feel like that would torture me.
It worked for
I'd be like,
it did work for a while.
I would just be like, oh my God, that cigarette looks so nice.
I can't remember when it broke down. There was at some point, I think I was at a convention or something, and I had nothing else to draw, and I was sitting, you know, in the first convention at Heroes Con, actually, which is a great convention if you ever want to go. Speaking of great motivating artists, Heroes Con is like one of the, I think, last comic book conventions that's truly about comic books and artists. But anyway, I was sitting there with the e-cigarette, trying not to use it, and I gave up. I saw an artist going out that I had talked to earlier, and I was like, "Hey man, you going smoking?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, I'm going with you." And I bum a cigarette because nobody wanted pictures of people smoking cigarettes.
I think that was the hardest part of Spectrum, was trying to find a smoking buddy.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. I thought that all artists smoke.
Not
true. Not really. But we do get a question.
Oh, what? Yay!
Yeah, it's a pretty good question that I'm going to have trouble answering. But
yeah, I'm here.
It's, how do you know when a piece is completely finished? Time restraint, being fed up with it. Also, what would you both say is the hardest part of getting into an artist collective / co-op?
Well, I'm going to say this. This answer applies to all of them. All of those questions. Time. Like, really, I mean, I'm still working on this. Pieces really you should try and
time restraint.
Yeah, put a time restraint on yourself, because I have a few little doodles that I've had, and I'm working on, air quotes. You guys can't see it, but I'm air quoting. I've been working on forever, and they're never done, and they probably never will be done, because I'll find something else to do with them, or I'll, you know, I've had so many things that I've drawn and then been like, don't like it anymore, and then you stop. But if I put a time restraint on myself, if I give myself a week to do something and say, all right, this has to be done, that's when, you know, you may not like what you end up with in the beginning, but what you did was create for yourself a habit. You created a different tool that I think a lot of artists don't talk about, and that's time management. It really is important. And then to answer the other question, time is probably the hardest part about getting into some kind of collective. You know,
everybody has to have the time.
Brandon and I have been talking about this very thing that we're doing now. For what? A month now?
Yeah.
But
And I think the problem with that is just like people are like, all right, hey, we should do this,
mhm.
or I'm gonna get to that,
Yep.
or
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
man, that
gonna do
sounds
that,
great. Let's do it eventually.
you know. And I think the problem is just do it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like, just stop asking questions. You're honestly not gonna know if something is gonna work out until after it's done.
That's true.
And I feel like that's the same thing with a painting. And that's also why you need to, put a comfortable time restraint on your work.
Mhm.
I think we were talking the other day. I was doing these 15-minute studies, and I was liking them so much more than the stuff that would be taking like an hour to work on. And that's just because I was like, oh, this has to get done.
Yeah. No, yeah, I saw a definitive improvement. Oh my goodness, your dog. A definitive improvement over your stuff when you were just trying to work on the shading of the head or work on a nose, and you would spend hours working on one nose. And then when you finally just like gave in and gave yourself like an hour and a half to do something instead of like looking up reference, because I come from the comic book world and Brandon comes from the concept world, and so we both have these different kind of um, side to what we do. And so when you talk about looking for reference and things like that, those things don't really. I mean, they obviously exist in comic book world, but like I was always kind of brought up in that like you got a deadline, and that's the most important thing. Um, so whatever you have to do to get that done, get it done. And sometimes reference can be a hindrance to that. I mean, that's where a lot of comics, I think, some people don't really enjoy certain parts of that side of the comic. But I love it when it's like, oh yeah, no, I had a week, so that Martian just ended up being a pig guy. That's what he was, because it's easier to draw a pig than making up an entire alien. Um, like I love looking at like old comics for that. When it really wasn't glamorous to work in comics, and some of the shortcuts and things that they would take weren't like it wasn't a cool thing they did. It was a hey guys, we gotta do this. I need to eat tomorrow. So yeah, this is how it's gonna happen. And I think that's where comics did create such a beautiful little um, its own language, I guess, was time frame. Everything done in a comic is done under an immense time frame, or a very short time frame. I'm about to start a project right now, and I'm kind of gearing myself up for the fact that I got to finish it, no matter what, whether I like it or not.
And what is that?
The tomorrows. Is
Yeah.
everybody here? Do people leave?
No, we got 5 viewers.
What? Hey, viewers.
Um,
All right, guys, you're now part of the fan club. Welcome. I don't know how this works. I'm the weird old guy. I say old guy. I'm only 28. But regardless, Brandon is the one that knows all this stuff about meeting up and doing video chats. And I mean, I just switched to digital like, what, about a year ago? Like full digital? I mean, I've used tablets and things before, but I normally would always start with a sketch at least, in pencil form. Now, as you can see, I do a lot digitally.
and you were talking about maybe trying out concept design.
I'm thinking about it, yeah. No, I think I love, I mean, I don't want to limit myself anymore. I love art, and I like a lot of different things. I guess for a long time felt like I learned all these things about sequential art that I had to go apply into sequential art. But now I'm kind of realizing that, I know a lot about a lot. So why not try and spread my knowledge into every kind of field that I can to just get the most out of being an artist, like we were talking about earlier. Yeah. So I'm thinking about it. I don't have a lot of the call them. Like I don't know a lot of the terms. I'm not, like I said, I've just been kind of like all my digital knowledge of art comes from either coloring comic books or looking stuff up on DeviantArt back in the day. That's how I learned how to color. My dad brought home a tablet one day. It was like his friend's tablet that he had in college and didn't want anymore. It was an Induos 1. No, it was just Induos, that's what it was. A Wacom Induos tablet. It was a honking huge thing. And I loved it, but oh boy, I used the brick filter on a Spider-Man drawing. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I took I did a Link comic. It was Zelda like you never seen it before. Very dark, gritty middle schooler who wants to make Link a badass. But yeah, I took that and put what's the filter? Hold on, I'll find it. Shadow glow, or the bubble glow on everything. Oh my goodness, it's so cool.
Awesome.
But through that, I learned a whole lot more, and there were many times that those are the type of just going out there and doing it, whether it was wrong or right, that maybe kind of helped me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I kind of believe in just doing it, whether it is bad, whether it's good. That's not really the point for me.
Yeah.
It's more about just putting it on paper, seeing what sticks. And yeah, oh man, that hand is wonky, or oh, this that face does not look real. And you're like, yeah, you're right. I think I'm bad at getting critiqued sometimes because that's my attitude for a lot of things, and people take it like I'm or I don't care. But it's more like, yeah, no, I see your point. That's great. Thank you.
We got a question.
Okay.
Ashley McLaughlin. She said, "Do you guys have Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr accounts? If so, how can we follow you?"
All right. I'm the Zigzone on Instagram, and I believe I'm the Zigzone on Tumblr. Let's see. I'm so bad at this. This is the worst repping ever. I think my name is no, yeah, I know I'm on Instagram as the Zigzone, and I believe on Tumblr as well. And then on DeviantArt, if anyone ever goes there, that ghost town of a website, I think I'm just Zeigler on there.
And I can post those into the description for everyone.
Boom.
Make that a little bit easier.
So let me ask, since this is a two-way street, what are how many people do we have following us?
We have 5.
5. What are you 5 people? What are you doing on here? What brought you to come talk to us? What are you thinking about?
You guys can just post those into the questions box, since we are a little slow to the game of live streams.
Yeah, no, this is my first live stream, first time.
He's a newbie.
I'm what? A newbie?
Newbie.
Yep.
I know I kind of am too. The only live streams I've ever been a part of were video game related.
Oh, well.
Which if you guys want to see some embarrassing video game stuff, check that out. But yeah, you can follow me.
Yeah.
I have my own website, zimmyart.com, with two Z's, so BZZIMMYART.com.
You know what? This brings up a good question. Why wasn't a Z in our name of our live stream? Because we both have Z's in our names.
Oh yeah.
That seems like we missed out on an opportunity. Sorry, go ahead.
We can make it Zinergy.
Zinergy. See, that's great. All right, guys, you heard it here first. We are now Zinergy.
Awesome.
I did that. Sorry, I totally destroyed your repping, your pimping, your.
Oh, Ashley said she had to verify my claims of you being a baller.
Me being a baller?
Yeah.
Aw, you've been telling people I'm a baller?
Stray Ziballin. Get it? See what I did there? Ziballin, because of Z.
Ziballin. And now they are all gone. And
But yeah.
they're gone.
My self-portrait's
How's yours coming?
kind of ugly.
I want to see.
Kind of ugly.
Not Safari. Don't. Oh, well.
Oh, God. Porn pop-ups.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that'd be great. It's coming along great.
Thank you.
It kind of is terrifying me right now because all I saw were like dark eye sockets.
Yeah, eyes are scary. That's what I do. Those are my eyes. They're just really dark holes
Dark
to the eyes
holes
of the
in your
soul.
face.
I have a dark soul.
I like your eyes. They're dark circles in your face.
Hey, what color are your eyes, bro? They're not a color, they're a value.
Ooh, that's, I guess, a good one. Good one.
No, I think the best one of today.
Oh boy, this is gonna be
Home is where the art is.
Ooh,
Get
I
it?
like that.
Like home is where the heart is, but art instead of heart.
Bayuyakasha.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm actually doing this correctly. I'm kind of just farting around again, like I said. Because normally I'd throw like a full layer of color before I started detailing out all these things. Does anyone do a lot of Photoshop coloring or?
Yeah, I guess that's a good question. You use Mega Studio a lot.
So what?
You use Mega Studio a lot, right?
Me?
Yeah.
I wish. No.
No.
I'm trying to learn that actually. I have a friend that's pushing it on me, and I'm like, I want to learn it, but like I said, I'm a very slow learner. So when I do learn something, I tend to just go all out on it until I've exhausted it to the point where I need to learn something else. So yeah, I haven't learned Manga Studio yet, but I heard it was only $15 online the other day.
I think it's going on for 2 days. So.
Well, dang it.
So if you still want to get it.
Might have to. This might become watch Kevin fuck up at Manga Studio every week.
I know a little bit of it. There's some really good tools in it. Like the perspective tool is one of my favorite things.
See, that's what I saw, and I fell in love. I was like, say what? Wait, what? I can do that? Because I do. I really like 7-year-old Kevin, like I was saying earlier, that would refuse to just learn how to draw a fucking arm from Jim Lee. Just copy what he's doing. I wouldn't do it. Now, when people tell me, shortcuts and things for things that take me hours, for some reason, it's like a gut reaction to just be like, yeah, no, cool, but I'm not going to do that. But I do it my way. or the highway.
Do you watch any Gumroad at all?
Say what now?
Like Gumroad videos?
Gumroad?
Yeah, dude, Gumroad. Oh my God, it's amazing.
This is also what this will be. It'll be Brandon explaining cool things to me most of the time, and me having no idea what they are.
Gumroad. What Gumroad is
Boom. No.
just a way of sharing digital files. But what it's kind of become is a very tutorial-based website. So say you can give like $5 and get a whole series of tutorials that are like up to an hour long. God, it's one of my favorite things of learning. I've actually said that instead of going to college, if I had to do it all over again, I would go to college for 2 years, and
So I had to do it all.
I would learn everything else online.
I would rob a bank back in 1998, and you could totally do that. And then I'd go to college. Boom. Mic drop.
I don't know. SCAD is very expensive. If anybody has any questions about SCAD, just to ask.
Yeah.
We will happily tell you.
I was gonna say I will say I'm not one of those people that says like school was a waste of time, because it really wasn't for me. Like I said, I cannot think of, or I cannot. Bleh, bleh, bleh. I would not be here today if it weren't for the friends, the opportunities, the connections, and honestly the things that I learned from SCAD. But there is a certain part of me that wishes it would have been different. There are a lot of things that I think nowadays, especially in the days of online courses and being able to go online and not just like, you know, see somebody's step-by-step of how they drew that Goku in Photoshop, but you can also go to do things like this and, you know, pick other artists' brains and go to conventions and get reviewed pretty easily by, you know, other artists that are eager to teach other people. I think that's kind of the cool thing, but then it's also a tricky thing because, Brandon, have you told them that we're both struggling artists?
Yes, that's another good thing to point out. Is this stream the overarching topic for life is that you guys aren't alone.
Is that what?
It's to show you guys that not everybody can be amazing. I mean, oh God, that came out so bad.
No. Well, I think it's to show everybody that there's a lot of great art out there. There's a lot of great artists, but then there are also people that are still struggling to get by, and also people that, you know, I kind of consider myself this. Thought that it was going to be a different thing when I went to school. I was kind of thinking about it the other day.
Like, graduate, get a job.
Well, I mean, dude, like when I went to college, I was thinking about this. The timeline of when I went to school, going to school for comics, was I kind of had a plan. Like it wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm just going to draw Batman, make some money. I mean, I was going to go pitch comic books to Image at the time when I went to school, like 2006. It was a ragtag, like third-tier book place. You know, it wasn't this all-star place. And even, you know, there weren't Marvel movies out. Like, I mean, there were comic book movies coming out, but they still weren't like what they are now, where every studio has to put, you know, millions of dollars into this property or that. So when I went into school, I kind of had this idea that, oh yeah, I can do this. I'll get like a part-time job, and then I'll go pitch my things to here or there, and it'll be very simple to get in. But around, I think the year before I graduated, 2007 or 2008, 9, that's when there was a really big change in comics, and it became the booming industry that it is now, and where I don't mean to like say, "Oh, poor me, I didn't make it," because that's not what it is. There are a lot of things I could have done better, but it just is a different world. I went into school thinking I was gonna work this way, and when I got out, it was a completely different,
Environment.
very much powerful tool. Marketing had become like marketing yourself and not only your art became a very huge thing. Just stuff that I didn't learn, in school. I didn't learn any of that kind of stuff. So I don't really hold it against SCAD because, they did their thing. But yeah, no, they didn't teach me how to go to a convention. They didn't teach me how to run a business as an artist or keep yourself
Financially stable.
Fresh, huh?
And financially stable.
Yeah, none of those things were really taught. And again, I'm not trying to badmouth SCAD, but it is.
The best thing about SCAD was foundations. That's why I've told people, like, if I had to do it again, I would, go for 2 years.
Yeah.
Because those foundations clash, man. John Lowe, he's one of my favorite professors. You learn so much, but you start to come up on these classes that they're just like, hey, do this. Oh, time to critique that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, what did I learn? And they're like, oh, you didn't learn anything? And I'm like, what?
Wait, we're done? That was it?
Which is awesome that you get to do your own work, but then again, I'm in school to learn. I'm not here to do my own thing. I can do my own thing on my own time. But I guess the reason for this podcast is to show you that, like, there's a lot of YouTubers out there who are very, very successful. Nothing against them. They are amazing. I love watching them. God, you get so much from learning from those guys. But the thing is that I think that we can offer is
a more humble perspective. Maybe.
Not less more humble, but more.
Oh, yeah, we're going to brag it up. Braggadocious.
Well, no, it's not. It's not that the other people aren't humble, which
right.
They're very, very humble. It's that they've already made it.
Right.
The thing that we have to offer is that we haven't made it yet, and you guys get to see the journey and struggle right beside us, which I think is going to be a good thing.
Until we get, how many viewers are we at?
We're at 3.
Oh man, we are
back to 4.
Boom, and we're back, baby.
Number 4. What is that movie? Insurgent.
Number 4.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie? Divergent.
Divergent.
Oh, it's such a good movie. It's kind of like Mockingjay.
It's like the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah. So good.
I used to like movies. Any more questions? Have I not answered anything? Am I talking too much?
No. I think we've answered a lot of questions. I guess what it is what do you do to draw every day?
To draw every day?
Like what is your time management?
I read a really good book that if you guys really want to kind of refocus yourself as an artist, I would say read, it's called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. It was just it gets a little bogged down in superisms, almost like he considers an artist like a Superman that must and always must be working, and I get that. But it was a really good book, and it helped me kind of see that he talks a lot about resistance being the enemy of art, and resistance as the side of you that will always fight you in your work. And resistance has many forms, whether it's, but I drew all day yesterday. But, you know, I'm really tired. You know, I just worked all day at work. You know, I can't just sit down and draw again. Like,
I think that's my biggest problem, honestly.
because you'll find so many. I mean, when I did After Houdini, I was working as a manager at a liquor store, and you know, it was the one time I didn't give myself any excuses. I kept working, and I finished that book in like 3 months, I think. You know, which I thought was like, it was a really big personal record for me, because here I was, you know, during the day running the liquor store, and then at night at my desk drawing. And it really kind of showed me the drive that I should have. And at the time, I felt really good about it. And I didn't have time to really criticize what I was doing. I mean, I could criticize and be critical of it, but I didn't criticize. I just kept going. And I found myself wanting to get at the desk and wanting to work more and keep going. And I think that was one of the last times that I really applied a true work ethic. Because it is. It really is. You have to designate yourself from someone that just draws as a pastime. You know, like, oh, I do characters every now and again. And then there are the people that they go like, no, I want this to be my life. That book also talks about hobbies. You know, the hobbyist is seen as someone that just loves the craft. You know, they just love the thing, and that's why they do it. They don't do it for the money. But he talks about a professional is actually the true person that loves the art or loves their job, because the professional not only does it, but then learns how to make money from it. And I thought that was a very interesting kind of idea.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that as a collective, a better work ethic would be awesome. And you know, that's something silly to say, but it's kind of hard. And until you find that, it's going to be a long road. And it's not to say that we don't have a good work ethic, but for me personally, I was in this state that one of my buddies, Tim, from Concept Cookie, kind of helped me with, was not necessarily artist block, but it was artist depression, where I wasn't liking anything that I was doing, so I wasn't doing anything. And it's kind of a catch-22, because I'll never get to the point where I would like anything. So I really had to push through that.
Yeah, no, man. Like, it really is a push. You're right. Like, you have to push through that, because no one else is going to do that for you. You know, sometimes as an artist, it sucks because you're the only one that's going to motivate yourself. Like, it would be great if there was some, like, magical fairy person that would go around to all artists and be like, you're the best. Keep it up. Just keep going. You're amazing.
You're almost there.
Yeah. But it doesn't happen that way. And if you pretend or like even give yourself that idea that should be happening, that's really, it's resistance. That's, you know, that's something that will only drag you down, and looking for other people to validate what you're doing becomes something that can really actually hinder you.
That becomes competition.
Yep.
That's all competition is. It's just
Bringing it back.
look at me, look at me, look how awesome that I am. When in reality, you just need to be like, hey, this is wrong. How can you help me fix it?
Mhm.
You know.
Speaking of wrong, this sexy devil right here. So wrong, but oh so right.
God, your color work, so good.
I'm just kind of farting around. Like I said, I only know really how to like color through comics. So like when I do it, I don't really. I don't really stick to. I'm trying to get more into like rendering and throwing some different kind of brushes on there. I was told once that I use too many gradients.
Yeah.
But I like gradients because they save a lot of time.
You should lasso the left eye.
Mm-hmm. Left eye, left eye.
And well, no, it would be cool if you had it the light refracting. So like the line that you have going through, like the line of the head that's going through, that line, if you had it disconnected so it's not on the same path. Does that make sense? It's like if you pulled it in or pushed it out.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like break it up.
Yeah, so it looks like how if you look through your glasses at an object, it's not on the same.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I see what you're saying now.
But does anybody have any questions? We got about 5 to 10 minutes left.
Aww. Who's coming back next week? Anybody? Come back. I miss you all. Already. All three? We still 3?
Still at a 2.
Damn.
No. Should be happy that we have even 2 people.
No, this is great. We'll be here.
Yeah. If anybody has anything to chime in, now's the time. And we will be looking for other people to spontaneously join us in our talks. I know that I've talked to one of my friends, Ashley. It'll be really neat to hear from her. She's got a cool story going on.
Let's say we should talk to some people.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And don't be afraid to post your work, guys. That's another problem that I have.
Yeah, I was gonna say critiques. A lot of people when I was in school used to always talk about how they hated them and how they hate listening to critiques and blah blah blah. I love it, or I loved it, and now like being out of school or like remembering when I wasn't in school, like critiques weren't a thing, and they're really, really important, and also can really help you, not even get better as an artist, but be able to just understand someone else's perspective. Like there are a lot of times. There are a lot of times when someone will give me a critique, and I don't necessarily agree, but hearing someone else explain why they don't like this certain thing, like I said, the gradient and stuff, like that actually, definitely, it made me think. And I think critiques really, if you want to be an artist and if you want to pursue it, thinking about what you're doing is very important. And the more critiques that you get, the more you're able to think about it critically and not think of it as someone attacking you or what you're doing.
Yeah, critiques are basically your audience. Like you have to listen to it, whether you agree or not. But that's that's what your audience is seeing. And if they're not seeing something, if you're getting a collective viewpoint, something needs to be fixed. My dog is making weird noises.
I was gonna say, it is hilarious noises. What in the world? Guys, you can't hear this, but it might be turning into a demon. So if we don't come back next week, know that Brandon's dog turned into a demon.
She's a little demon. But yeah, so I guess that's going to conclude it for tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining in, and you guys can watch these later at a later time. So if you're watching this in 2025, thank you for watching the history of YouTube and the downfall of the humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we will post all of our links in the description. So,
Deeply do.
Any goodbyes, Kevin?
I was gonna say, if you guys want to, yeah, follow me on Instagram. Follow me. Hit me up if you find me. If you find me, hit me up. I like talking to people. And, you know, if you have something that you want to show or you want to, like, get advice on, I might be down to help out. Or we can talk about it next week if you want. Let us know what you guys want to talk about in here. Because, really, Brandon and I wanted to do this just as a way to communicate to other people and other artists and inspire other artists. So, you know, the more that you guys kind of chime in, the more we can all cooperate together. Boom, and I'm out. That's it.
All right. Bye, guys.